let's start.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to UnCut, where we get together, get comfortable, and get real. So just wanted to let you guys know and open up the conversation is that you guys can send us any of your questions or topics that you'd like to see or answered, just like this following one that we got here, which was, how do you get over a breakup?
Whoa. I want to jump on this one because I don't know what I don't know what y'all know about breakup or heartbreak. But
because you're a pro,
because you're older.
No, it's not.
Because she's been here a long time. She's
seen it all.
Okay. No, I want to jump on this one because I feel like so many people need help around this. I'm not saying that I've gone through so many, heartbreaks or anything, but I've just encountered a lot of people who have this issue. I have like a top 5 things that I would say.
Take notes. Take out a pen. Take out your Samsung notes.
Okay.
Wherever you get your notes.
I have time, patience, prayer surrounding, and self-talk.
Ooh.
So
let's go. Take it away. Project Empower. Shameless plug.
Yeah. So just patience and time. I'm just gonna put that together. So patient and time being be patient with yourself and have people around you that are gonna be also patient with you. Know that healing takes time and it is a process. That's why I put like patience and time together.
Because oftentimes we, like, especially if it ends up badly and you're trying to big up yourself and be like, I'm fine or whatever. I'm good. I don't need you. Whatever. Yeah. You kind of rush into having to, like, I don't know, prove yourself that I'm good and having to prove it to others. Yeah. Either jumping in another relationship or taking bad decisions and doing so quickly without actually taking the time to heal. Absolutely. So that's a good point.
Yeah, and like the next one, which actually ties into what you just said, is prayer, because I feel like a lot of the internal wounds that we have, some of it's actually harder to express. Like, you can be going through heartbreak, but how do you actually feel? How can you express every single little thing? There's some wounds that maybe sometimes we're not even aware of because we don't actually process. And so I feel like prayer is one of those things where you actually allow God to come in and kind of heal those hidden wounds, so that the internal healing can actually match like the other type of healing that you're doing through effort.
And honestly, when we're just to touch up even just on prayer, that is literally like, it is like talking to a homie. Like, if you gotta cry it out. Yeah. Talk to God, how you're feeling and stuff like that, and let that work.
Like, allow God to give you that peace that you need to get over the breakup.
And being real in that moment, because a lot of times, again, like when somebody breaks up with us, we tend to blame the other person.
It's an ego thing. It's an ego thing.
And it's inevitable. But I think when you're gonna pray and you're gonna come to God about it, you also want to do a lot of, like you said, internal work, okay? Yeah. And look at, is there anything that I did maybe in a relationship? Or is there something about myself that I need to do change before I'm even ready to start a new one?
And what are the things that maybe I let, like, we're talking about those red flags, like, what are those things that I did in this last relationship that I can't do in the next relationship? And even not just relationship, I just wanted to say that, like, heartbreak doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be in a friendship. It could be a lost opportunity. Business, it could be a lot of things could go around heartbreak. But like I said, like, really look at what are my errors from the past and what do I need to work on, so that the next person,
it's about basically perspective, right? It sucks in the moment and it hurts, but obviously, yes, you do have to take the time to, cry and kind of cater to those wounds a little bit, and that's okay. But for you to take the time to really evaluate and see what can you learn from this. If you decide to take things from a different approach, it'll allow you to come out of that situation and not dwell so much on that sadness and that heartbreak.
And then closure. A lot of people don't, like, obviously.
I'm big on closure.
Yeah, and closure to an extent where if you get to a point where you're even able to talk to that person again, whether it's in like a bad
that's a big one. Not everyone's able to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, if you need a certain time, like, if you need time, like,
time is important,
time to heal,
right?
You need time to analyze things. But if you can get to a point where you guys are cordial, you guys, you know what I mean, you've both kind of left in a good what do you mean?
A good space.
Exactly, in a good space, whether it's business-wise or friendship, where you guys can just come back just for that conversation that couldn't be, like you couldn't have that conversation. Exactly.
It's a good point. The thing is, like, these are points that we're bringing up. Not everything will work for everybody.
Exactly.
Well, in a set, like what we've mentioned so far, as far as prayer is a big one, guys, for real. As far as closure, it's not an everybody thing, but someone might need to be like, you know what, I need to say my piece to this person in order for me to break away.
Like, you kind of need to know, like, what happened, why didn't it work out, and sometimes just knowing gives you that peace that you're looking for. And a lot of times, for me, I would say closure is a big one, but also kind of, I think you said it, self-reflection. Because in my cases, for example, I know that when I've had breakups, even though my ego led me to feeling hurt, if I really took it in, I knew they weren't right for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So having that reflection and that time to yourself in that prayer moment to help you realize that it was meant to happen that way. It's supposed to happen that way.
Don't lie to yourself. Like, if you're actually gonna heal from something, you're gonna be honest. Be honest with yourself.
Too.
Honestly,
The other person.
That was like an actual other point of mine. Like I said surrounding and self-talk. So surrounding is usually like your team, right? So the people that you surround yourself with. Make sure, not that you're always surrounded, but like after you take that time for yourself, to also expose yourself to other people that are going to like strengthen you, that are going to edify you. They're going to like put that mirror in front of you and kind of remind you who you are. Because I know a lot of times when you go through breakup, you kind of forget who you are. You forget your values, and you start doubting and stuff.
Or you try to jump into like another relationship.
Yeah, and you just need your team to kind of be like, no, like right now you need to stay put. You know, people that are actually going to be diverting you as well during that time. And self-talk is a huge one for me. I like, usually when I go through a heartache, I don't stay there for a really long time. I'm one person that like I speak to myself all the time. Speaking to myself is like one of the ways that I actually like heal faster. And that I actually understand, like, how can I say, I can actually process what's going on, and I can also motivate myself to like get through this rough patch. So I will talk to myself and say, listen, you have self-esteem, like you are a child of God, like you are strong, you're gonna get through this. Like this, you're crying now, but like you're gonna, and it's great to even write these things, because sometimes we say it and then we forget, we live our lives, we forget.
Write it down, put it on a board somewhere.
Journaling, I journal a lot, as you guys know. So for me, all of my thoughts, when I've gone through certain breakups, I didn't get to a point of crying. I would normally go to a point of reflection right away.
Wow.
And since I was 13, 14 when I started dating, and things were going wrong, I would literally go to a point of journaling. I wouldn't cry about it because I'd be like, okay, let me figure out why this didn't work out. That's just how I grew up. That's how I felt.
That's definitely a different approach. That's not everyone's.
It is. It's not everyone's, and that's why I'm saying it's different for everybody, like you were saying. But for me, honestly, journaling it and kind of self-reflecting and talking to yourself as I was writing really did help me kind of get through certain breakups.
And I would say also like knowing your weaknesses. Because I think a lot of times because we're vulnerable, because we're going through a heartbreak, we're weak in certain areas. For example, your ex or whoever hurt you is messaging you. Let's say, or they ring your door, or whatever your weakness may be. If you need to completely delete the person's number, block the whatever you need to do to
taking time apart is super important. And in order to properly take time apart, honestly, if you got unfollow them, block, delete their number. Like, put yourself in another state of mind and different surroundings. First. Like, do not be around their friends, but not them.
Exactly, and you can't do that if you don't acknowledge where your weakness is.
Right.
Once you acknowledge those things, then you're able to take those steps. Be like, okay, no, I'm not gonna let him message me, call me all types of night. I'm gonna delete the number, block whoever
Set
needs to block.
Because I can't say because I can't say that like I don't like never talk to your ex. Some people, believe.
She's never black and white.
Some people believe that, like, your exes, you never know if you're gonna do in the future. Okay,
we never know person.
I'm gonna go with the you never know just for now.
Okay.
But I would say at that time, at that moment, part of that healing is being in solitude. So, like, you don't need that person. You don't need to, but he's just checking in, or, she's just checking in.
Not to interrupt you.
I totally agree with that.
One thing I will note is forgiveness comes in different types of forms.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Some people, like, you also, for you to heal, you have to forgive. Yeah. Because if you hold on to, like, I hate this person, like, you can only hold on to that for so long, because then it's going to end up hurting you.
Because you guys stay mad. That means you guys
some people stay mad.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, you know what? maybe not others. Maybe you can forgive and forget.
No, forgive. No. It's
you
cool
can forgive
to
and forget. Like as in, I'm not finna talk to you.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you can get to a place
yeah.
where your forgiveness is being able to get to a space where you cannot have a conversation about this person.
Oh,
you get what I
what
mean?
you're saying.
Like I said, you can process forgiveness how you process forgiveness.
Yeah.
But as long as
you let
as
go.
long as there's forgiveness. If you see this person on the street, I'm not saying go and hug them, but it's not like
Right.
guess what? That's the
That's the thing.
That's a part of healing.
When we bring back the point of taking that time for yourself and praying, that internal work that God does with you gives you a peace beyond understanding.
Yeah.
Meaning, no matter how hurt you were,
Yeah.
no matter how like angry or you hated that person, you know you're healed when you see that person and you have
no ill will.
no ill will,
It's all
no
good.
feeling. You see a person, it's just like, yes, it's a person. Not that, oh my God, I don't know who this person is, but you don't feel that sting and that pain and that hurt and that guilt again.
And even, sorry, I'm doing it. I'm sorry, y'all. And even for an opportunity, because that's a really good point. Like when we talk about prayer, when you trust God and you trust in His will, then you know that maybe if things, because it's one thing if we talk about boys, we talk about girls, but it's another thing when we're talking about opportunities. Like we want something so much, and sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, and then we have a heartbreak, or we have some type of like we're going through some type of sadness if something doesn't align the way we do. So even whether it is a heartbreak through guy or it's a heartbreak through opportunity, I think it's important to just trust God's will at that point. Absolutely. And know that if things are not lining up for you or if this happened, just know that it's for a reason and God's going to work everything for
that
your good.
That alone will give you the peace.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I know that something else is coming.
Yeah. And you'll only know it once you've crossed over. I know it's hard when you're in the beginning phase about it, but if you just trust God and know that there's a reason for this and that He will never steer you wrong.
There's a reason
once
for
you're
everything.
Over that, you'll be like, oh, so that's why you did that. That's why you let me away from the guy.
Person and be in that situation.
If you check your mind, you check your perspective, trust me, it'll be one of the biggest things to help you get over.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, joining on the conversation.
And let us know, your topics. If you guys want us to talk about more things, let us know. I just don't want to forget about that.
You guys I'm interrupting.
Let us know if you guys have any topics you want to talk about. We'll talk about them.
Let us know. Let's see you
in the comments.
Good job, guys. Round of applause.